If you're an indie artist trying to mimic major label acts, you're setting yourself up for massive failure. The indie path was never meant to follow mainstream rules. And in this video, I'm going to cover 5 reasons indie artists should never try to act like major label artists. My name's Chris, also known as the artist Manifest. I'm a Christian rock and hip hop artist with about 500,000 monthly listeners. I write for TV and film. We had a song in the Olympics this year as well as the Super Bowl. And I just love coaching other artists. So the first thing indie artists should never do and follow major label acts is release all your songs as one album without releasing singles. What do I mean by that? Well, there's this really massive artist called Linkin Park, which I'm a huge fan of, and they just released 3 singles, and they're about to release now the whole album. And the album has 11 songs on it, but they're only releasing 3 singles, and then they'll release the 4th single with the whole album, okay? And what's so important about releasing singles versus the whole album is when you release a single, you get to promote it really hard. You got the cover, maybe you do a music video, you do a whole bunch of promotion around it, but most importantly for us as indie artists is you pitch it to the Spotify editorial playlists that trigger the release radar, that tell all your fans and followers that you've got a new song. When you don't do this and you just release all the songs at once and only one song is the single and you pitch the other song, that means all those other songs are not going to get pitched, right? And so I did this on one of my albums. We released actually, I think it was like 9 out of the 11 songs were all singles, and there was 1 or 2 of them that did not get pitched to Spotify's release radar. And all those songs that I didn't pitch, those were the ones that had less than 6 figures worth of streams. Okay, so the ones that all got pitched had hundreds of thousands, and the ones that I didn't pitch only had tens of thousands. So I lost out on so many streams. And that's what happens to a lot of indie artists is like you see these big acts just releasing full albums and only 1 to 3 singles, which is very normal, especially back in the day in major label acts. But that's because Linkin Park has 54 million monthly listeners. They have a massive email list. They have a massive machine pushing them, but we can't play the game like they play the game. We have to play it smarter. We have to be more wise with our budget. So I encourage you, release all your songs as singles, and as you're leading up to the album, I'm not saying don't release an album, but let's say you release 3 to 4 songs, then on the 5th one, release them all together on an EP, then release more singles, then when you're about to release the 10th song, put them all on there. Now, the little caveat I have to say to that is that you want to make sure if you're re-releasing a song that's already out, so it's like you're re-uploading it to your distributor, you want to make sure you use the original ISRC code, which is this little number, this little code that goes with the song, but you want to use the original one when you're re-releasing the song so you don't lose any of the streams, all right? Because if you just upload the song again, you're going to start from streams from scratch unless you use the original ISRC code. Now, I spend a whole day on this, teaching you how to do this in our Spotify 5-day challenge, or of course, you can join our coaching program. Go to the link below. It's called Fanbase University. But let's jump into number 2, which is releasing merch versus a Kickstarter. So when you're a big artist, okay, you can release CDs, you can release multiple variants of vinyl and all these different colorways and merch and just throw it out there, promote it, and that's great. And then, and like this artist Linkin Park is just making probably millions of dollars off their merch. But for us as indie artists, what we need to do is share is our why behind we're doing music, and do a Kickstarter and get our fans, friends, and family to rally behind the reason why we're doing it, which is our why. And I don't know what that is for you. For me, it's spreading hope, it's inspiration, it's sharing the gospel of Jesus through my music. I want to make impact. I want to, I'm anti-suicide, I'm pro-life. Like I want to make a difference with my music. There's different messages in my music, right? You got to decide what's the message behind your music. What's the purpose behind your music? What's your why that makes you continue to even do it? Because this music industry is pretty tough, right? But when you're just starting to build a fan base and you're trying to do a Kickstarter and raise funds, but you can raise a lot of money, these friends, family, and new fans aren't supporting you just because of your music, but they're supporting why you're doing it. They don't care so much that you used whatever guitar or drum set or you had whoever play on it or who feature on it, but they do care about the impact. And so it's really important that you do a Kickstarter, because you'll raise a ton more money as opposed to just putting it out there and just doing a pre-order, just kind of whipping it out there. But when you have this big campaign around your album, you are 10 times more likely to recoup your costs and actually come out profitable. I always say to the artists that I coach, it's not if you do a Kickstarter, but it should be when. And you're missing out on a lot of opportunities because it really forces you to have a goal, have a number that you're trying to achieve, and really rally behind that and get your friends, your family, and everyone to rally behind that and support you. Number 3 is publicists, okay? And one of my coaching students just asked me this question. He's like, hey, should I hire a publicist to promote my music? And I'm like, dude, you can't play games like the labels, okay? If you're going to go on tour and then you want to get publicity in that city or that town and get on radio and be in the newspapers and whatnot, sure, do that in all the different cities because you're going to tour there and you have the opportunity to recoup your actual money from that. Yes, I think getting publicity in each little town, that can be worth it because you actually have a chance of recouping your money. But hiring a publicist to get on these blogs and review your record and get people to write about you or whatnot, it's a complete waste of money, in my opinion. And you are way better to spend that money on online marketing, on ads, and just doing more grassroots stuff. Like, heck, you could do the publicity yourself and find out who the local people are in your area if you're going there, get people to write up about you, right? But like, unless the publicist is going to leverage you to get on some like big Sirius XM Octane stations or radio or like television, something that has like a really big impact, it's really not worth your money. Like, you're not going to see the ROI. And like anyone who's reading these blogs, unless it's like a massive feature, like how are you going to track that back to your streams, right? But again, we see these major labels doing it and these acts doing it, right? And yeah, sure, they're on different placements and they're on Conan O'Brien or they're performing on all these big live TV shows or whatnot, and that's fine, but we're not playing the same game they are. Okay, and so I really suggest you save that money and put it onto online marketing, put it into a collaboration, a feature. You know, for us, doing a giveaway, doing a contest, and then promoting that, like do a bunch of Amazon gift cards, iTunes gift cards, you know, merch, different stuff, and anyone who buys your record gets entered to win this big prize pack or something like that, and a signed autographed CD. Like and just doing that to cold traffic. Right? And building up that email list and that database of fans that are into your music, and then giving away free stuff and loving on them and building these hardcore fans. Like by treating people good and doing giveaways and cool stuff and creative stuff, as opposed to just throwing the money, hoping it sticks to the wall with a publicist. Like, is that really building fan engagement? No. Is that really building an authentic connection with your fans? Just like, oh wow, we read about you on this blog. Okay, sure. Social proof, a little bit of that is cool. But you know what social proof I like? Over having millions of streams on my song, having millions of monthly listeners, right? Like having my Spotify plaque or whatever it is. Like those are the awards I think are dope. Or having millions of views on my music videos. Like those are things you can really hang your hat, so to speak, as opposed to, oh, I was just featured on this blog or this write-up. It's like, you know, really, like when it comes time to booking a show or a festival or really getting on something, like does that really mean a lot for your resume? No. What about you just spending and learning more time creating content, having viral content, knowing that you've got every post you do has dozens or hundreds of comments or has engagement? Like that's real tangible stuff as opposed to these like vanity posts or features. So honestly, I would stay away from publicity altogether. Number 4, if major label acts are doing music videos, that means we should be doing short form content. That's right. You know, it's really not worth spending thousands of dollars on a music video when you could be spending $10 or $100 or a couple $100 on just having a whole shoot day of short form content. It will go farther, you know what I mean? It costs a lot less, and if you really want to do the music video, then sure, while you're shooting the short form content, right? When they're shooting you for the vertical stuff, set up a landscape camera, set up a few of them while you're shooting the short form content, and that way maybe you get both, and then you hire someone on Fiverr or Upwork to shoot the music video for you. What I said to an artist that we were coaching, and again, click the link below and join our coaching program. But I think this was golden advice, which is get all your music video files of all your landscapes, shoot it a whole bunch of different ways, right? If you really want to do a music video, get all the content, then post the job on Upwork. And for people to apply, you put a link to all the files that you shot of all the different, shots, the close-up, the far away, the performance, walking, moving, all the different locations, put it all in one file. And then you say, hey, I'm looking for someone to edit this music video, right? But you say to apply, you've got to do a 30 to 60 second edit. And whoever does the best 30 to 60 second edit, that's the one that you hire to do the whole music video. And what's been really awesome for that is we found people that just went all the way and they just went and edited the whole thing. And just, and some people did a good job on that and some it still wasn't good. But we found so many great people that way to work with. If you really want to do a music video, my real point in not doing music videos is really not spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Like I'm talking $500 max. None of this $1,000, none of this $5,000, $10,000. Like we spent $13,000 on a music video for a song we thought was a hit, but it wasn't. That song is like, I don't know how many years old now, 7 years, and it still hasn't even passed 1 million streams. And what I like to say now is a song has to earn a music video. That's right, it has to earn a music video. It has to get enough streams and be the hit to deserve me to go out and shoot a music video for it, right? Unless you just really love it and you have the budget and you want to burn money. But here's the thing, a lot of us, we can justify making the music and making the music video, right? And spending thousands of dollars. But when it comes to getting you to spend thousands of dollars on marketing it, for some reason you won't do it. So I'd much rather you spend $500 on making the music video and then $5,000 on YouTube ads or Meta ads to promote the music video and promote the content. But really, like, we can't be modeling these major labels doing that. They're burning money, right? And I don't even think they recoup anymore from it. But sometimes it's just a status and it's an investment. Like this whole thing is an investment long term, right? And that's the cool thing about music videos is at least, once it's up there, the lifespan of a YouTube video versus a social media post is 10 times more likely. But it's just so easy to grow a fan base by creating that vertical content, right? That short form content to post on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Like 15, 20-second clips. Go shoot a bunch of stuff, but don't think you need this massive, big budget music video. I'd rather have a creative idea and a small budget, right? As opposed to an okay idea and a big budget. Now, if there's anything where I've ever set a big bag of money on fire, it's radio. And we still see these major label acts breaking on radio, and radio really can be huge. We've had a lot of success at radio in mainstream Canada, in the US, in Japan. Radio has driven a lot of record sales for me. It's driven a lot of sound exchange royalties, especially when you get a Sirius XM station. But let's just give the example of Linkin Park. I know they're going to be going to Active Rock Radio to get on the charts. We spent 40 grand just to get in the top 30 there, okay? And I know for a fact to get a number one, you're looking at well over 6 figures, okay, $100,000 plus. And there's still this whole payola game going on here. So I know that they are spending that. And the only way you can even come close to making your money back is if you get on a Sirius XM station and you get into like regular or medium or heavy rotation for a long period of time. Okay, that's the only way, or it's the only way I did make my money back on some of those campaigns. But there's one where I just literally just set a whole bunch of money on fire. I didn't make any money back at all. It was a complete waste, and we even hit the charts, but there are vanity metrics. Because the games that these labels and acts play, we don't realize, like a lot of those spins are overnight. Okay, it says OVN on your radio report, and that means that the spin was happening in the frickin' middle of the night, okay? Not during the day when people are actually, driving in their cars or awake, because really you want to get played at like early in the morning when people are in their cars driving to work or on their way home. Those are like the busiest, best times to get played on radio, not at 12, 1, 2 in the morning, okay? And so that's what happened, and we paid all this money to get this big chart position, but on this one campaign, we didn't get the Sirius XM station, and so we missed out on all these radio royalties and people not actually listening to the music. And the reason a Sirius XM station is so powerful is because one play plays all across America, all across Canada, and in Mexico. Okay, one play. All right, so that's and the people are paying for that subscription, so it's a very active audience as opposed to just a regular radio station in whatever city. And sure, some cities like LA or New York, depending on the radio station, might have a massive following and they can reach a lot of people, but sometimes with these radio stations, it's only in a really small market, and that's not really moving the needle for you. We want to do things that move the needle. Okay, and that's one of the biggest things that I really want to help artists with is stop burning your money on the wrong things. I'm really big proponent on running online ads because they're so cheap, but what's so powerful is just you can make a little tweak to your ad and you can get 10 times the result. And the cool thing about online ads and why I love it so much is you can start at $10 a day and then go up to $20, $100, $1,000 a day. Right? And you can scale up as opposed to it's you drop that 2K right away or 5K or whatever it is, and you don't even know what result. That could be a social influencer campaign or whatever. But this is why when I'm coaching students, I tell them, look, $10 a day is fine to start for if you're testing, but let's be honest, you don't want a result of $10 a day. You want $100, $1,000 to really move the needle. When we started getting crazy comments and really seeing our streams go up into the thousands, you're looking at $30 to $50 a day minimum. So if you want help, you want me looking at your ads, critiquing, giving you coaching, join our Fanbase University program where I coach you every single week. I look at ads, I get you to share your screen. It's recorded. It's an awesome family. There's so many cool things going on right there. So I want to welcome you into that.